Judge offers to dismiss 375. Her attitude ruins everything. Judge Caprio. A single mother of three stands before Judge Frank Caprio, facing traffic violations, unpaid tickets, and outstanding fines. She has a pattern of ignoring court orders. Judge Caprio sees beyond the paperwork. He sees someone struggling, someone who needs help rather than punishment. He's prepared to show mercy, ready to dismiss the fines, ready to offer a fresh start for the sake of her three children. Then she speaks. What emerges isn't gratitude or remorse. It's attitude, excuses, and a complete refusal to accept responsibility. She argues, deflects, and grows hostile. With every word, she dismantles the mercy Judge Caprio was about to extend. This case demonstrates why attitude determines everything, and why some people lose desperately needed second chances simply because they can't control their responses. By the end, you'll witness a mother of three turn a dismissal into full penalties, watch mercy transform into judgment, and understand why Judge Caprio finally speaks the words no defendant wants to hear. I was going to help you, but not anymore. The question: why do some people sabotage their own rescue? Friday morning, 10:30 a.m., Providence Municipal Court. The bailiff's voice cuts through the quiet courtroom. Tamika Williams. Multiple traffic violations, failure to appear, unpaid citations. A woman in her early 30s enters, wearing casual clothes, hair pulled back, bearing the exhaustion that single mothers often carry. Behind her lies the reality: 3 children at home, 2 jobs struggling to make ends meet, a life perpetually one crisis away from collapse. Judge Caprio reviews the file, concern evident in his expression. This isn't a simple case. This is someone in genuine trouble. Ms. Williams, good morning. Please approach. Judge Caprio begins. Tamika walks to the podium with defensive body language, arms crossed, expression guarded, the posture of someone expecting attack. Ms. Williams, I'm reviewing your file and I see several issues we need to address. Can you tell me what's been going on? Judge Caprio asks gently. I got some tickets. I couldn't pay them. That's what's going on, Tamika responds flatly. I understand. Let me review what I'm seeing. You have 3 unpaid parking tickets from last year. 2 were issued while you were parked in residential permit zones without proper permits. 1 was for an expired meter. Is that correct? Yeah, that's what they say. You also failed to appear for a scheduled court date in March. Did you receive the notice? Judge Caprio continues. I don't know. I get a lot of mail. I can't keep track of everything. There's something in her voice. Not nervousness or embarrassment, but annoyance, as if this proceeding is an inconvenience rather than a legal matter with real consequences. Ms. Williams, I also see you have 3 children. Is that correct? Judge Caprio asks. Yeah, I got 3 kids. What does that have to do with parking tickets? Tamika responds with visible irritation. It has everything to do with it, Ms. Williams. I need to understand your situation before making decisions about fines and penalties. Tell me about your circumstances. Are you working? Tamika shifts her weight, clearly reluctant to share details. I work 2 jobs. I'm barely keeping my head above water. I don't have time for court dates and parking tickets. I understand you're busy. 2 jobs and 3 children is demanding. What kind of work do you do? Judge Caprio asks patiently. I work at a grocery store and clean offices at night. And before you ask, yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I'm struggling. But I don't see what that has to do with these tickets. Judge Caprio leans forward slightly. Ms. Williams, I'm asking because I want to understand if these tickets are creating financial hardship. If they are, we can explore options: payment plans, reduced fines, community service instead of payments. But I need to understand your situation first. Tamika's response shows the first flash of real attitude. Look, Your Honor, I don't need a payment plan. I need these tickets to go away. I can't afford them. Period. I got kids to feed, rent to pay, bills piling up. I don't have money for parking tickets I got because the city doesn't have enough parking anyway. The shift is noticeable. She's blaming external factors rather than acknowledging personal responsibility. Judge Caprio pulls up the details of each ticket. Ms. Williams, let's go through these one at a time. The first ticket was for parking in a residential permit zone on Morris Avenue. You were there for 3 hours, according to the citation. Can you explain what happened? I was visiting my sister. I didn't know I needed some special permit to park on a public street, Tamika explains dismissively. The street has signs posted every block indicating permit parking only between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Were you aware of those signs? Tamika's voice rises slightly. I don't read every single sign on every street, Your Honor. I was there to see my sister. I wasn't studying parking signs. Ms. Williams, the signs are there for a reason. Residents pay for those permits so they can park near their homes. When non-residents park there all day, it takes spaces away from people who live there, Judge Caprio explains calmly. Well, maybe the city should make more parking spaces instead of just giving tickets to people trying to visit family, Tamika shoots back. Judge Caprio remains calm, despite the growing defensiveness. The second ticket was also for residential permit parking, this time on Benefit Street. That was 2 months after the first violation. You were cited again for the same issue. Yeah, because I was visiting someone else. Am I not allowed to visit people? Tamika asks defiantly. Of course you can visit people, Ms. Williams, but you need to follow parking regulations when you do. After the first ticket, you knew about permit zones. Why didn't you look for illegal parking the second time? Because there was nowhere else to park, Your Honor. What was I supposed to do? Just not go see my friend? You were supposed to find legal parking, Ms. Williams, even if it means parking farther away and walking. Tamika lets out an audible sigh of frustration. Walking with 3 kids in the winter. You're not being realistic. Judge Caprio's patience is being tested, but he maintains composure. Ms. Williams, I understand it's inconvenient, but inconvenience doesn't give you the right to ignore parking regulations. I wasn't ignoring them. I just didn't have any other options, Tamika insists. That's not accurate, Ms. Williams. There's always legal parking somewhere, even if it's not convenient. Tamika crosses her arms tighter. Easy for you to say. You probably got. Judge Caprio takes a breath and tries a different approach. Ms. Williams, let me be direct with you. When I first looked at your case, I saw a single mother working 2 jobs, raising 3 children, clearly struggling. My first thought was to dismiss these tickets and give you a fresh start. Tamika's expression doesn't soften. If anything, she looks more entitled. Okay, so do that then. It's not that simple anymore, Ms. Williams. The way you're responding to me right now suggests you don't think you did anything wrong. You're blaming the city, blaming parking availability, making excuses about having kids, but you're not taking any responsibility for parking illegally 3 separate times. I told you I didn't have other options, Tamika argues. And I told you that's not true. There are always legal options, even if they're less convenient. The question is whether you're willing to accept that, or keep insisting you're a victim of circumstances. Tamika's voice rises noticeably. I am a victim of circumstances. I'm working 2 jobs trying to feed my kids, and the city is hitting me with tickets I can't pay. The city issued you tickets because you violated parking regulations, Ms. Williams, multiple times. And then you failed to appear in court to address them. Judge Caprio responds firmly. I told you I can't keep track of every piece of mail I get. Judge Caprio's frustration is starting to show. Ms. Williams, a court summons is not just a piece of mail. It's a legal document requiring your appearance. Ignoring it has consequences. What was I supposed to do? Take a day off work I can't afford to lose to come sit in court all day? Tamika challenges. Yes, Ms. Williams. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. When you receive a court order, you comply with it. You don't ignore it because it's inconvenient. Tamika shakes her head dismissively. This whole system is designed to keep people like me down. I can't win no matter what I do. Judge Caprio leans back, his expression showing he's reaching his limit. Ms. Williams, I've been trying to help you, but you're making it impossible. Every question I ask, you respond with an excuse or an accusation. You're not taking any responsibility whatsoever. Because I shouldn't have to. These tickets are... Judge Caprio stands. When he stands, everyone knows Mercy just left the room. Ms. Williams, I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. Tamika continues looking defiant, rather than concerned. When you walked in here, I saw your circumstances. Single mother, 3 children, 2 jobs, financial struggle. I saw someone who needed help, not punishment. I was prepared to dismiss all 3 parking tickets and wipe your record clean. Do you understand what I just said? For the first time, Tamika looks uncertain. You were going to dismiss them. I was going to dismiss them, past tense, because I believed you were someone struggling who made some mistakes and deserved compassion. So do it then, Tamika says. Judge Caprio's tone sharpens. I'm not finished, Ms. Williams, don't interrupt me. The sharp tone silences her. I was prepared to help you. But for the last 15 minutes, you've done nothing but make excuses, blame everyone else, show complete disrespect for this court, and refuse to take even the smallest amount of responsibility for your actions. I'm just trying to explain, Tamika begins. You're not explaining, Ms. Williams. You're deflecting. There's a difference. Explaining means acknowledging what you did wrong and providing context. Deflecting means refusing to admit any wrongdoing and blaming external factors. Tamika's defiance returns. So now you're saying I'm wrong for defending myself. Defending yourself and refusing accountability are not the same thing. You parked illegally 3 times. That's not the city's fault. That's not the sign's fault. That's your fault. You failed to appear in court. That's not the mail system's fault. That's your fault. And you're standing here arguing with me instead of taking responsibility. That's also your fault. You don't understand what my life is like, Tamika protests. Judge Caprio's voice rises. I understand perfectly what your life is like. I deal with struggling parents every single day. Single mothers, single fathers, people working multiple jobs, people barely surviving. And you know what the difference is between them and you. Tamika doesn't answer. They take responsibility. They say, I messed up, I'm sorry, I'll do better. They don't stand here and argue that parking tickets are a conspiracy against them. That's not what I said. That's exactly what you implied. You said the system is designed to keep you down. You suggested Judge Caprio sits back down, but his expression remains stern. The 3 parking tickets total $375. That amount stands in full. No reduction, no dismissal. Tamika's eyes widen. Your Honor, I told you I can't afford that. You should have thought about that before you spent 15 minutes arguing with me instead of showing remorse. I have 3 kids to feed, Tamika pleads. Then, you should have taken responsibility for your actions when you had the chance. Because I was going to help you. I was going to wipe this clean so you could focus on feeding your children. But you chose attitude over accountability. Tamika's voice becomes desperate. Your Honor, please. I need help. I'm struggling. I know you're struggling, Ms. Williams. I saw that in your file before you even walked in. But struggling doesn't give you the right to disrespect this court, refuse responsibility, and blame everyone else for your choices. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, Tamika says. Yes, you were. You questioned my decisions. You implied I have privileges that make me unsympathetic. You dismissed this proceeding as the city trying to squeeze money out of you. That's disrespectful. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I really am, Tamika says, tears starting to form. Judge Caprio's expression doesn't soften. Your apology would have meant something 20 minutes ago, Ms. Williams. Now it just sounds like you're sorry you're facing consequences. Your Honor, how am I supposed to pay $375? I can barely pay my rent, Tamika asks desperately. I can offer you a payment plan. $25 per month for 15 months. $25 a month is still money I don't have. Then you'll have to make choices, Ms. Williams. The same way you made a choice to park illegally. The same way you made a choice to ignore a court summons. The same way you made a choice to come in here with attitude instead of humility. This isn't fair, Tamika protests. Judge Caprio's voice hardens. You keep saying that, but you know what's not fair? A single mother, who could have walked out of here with no debt, walking out instead with full penalties because she couldn't control her attitude. That's not fair. But you did it to yourself. An older, black woman in the gallery raises her hand. Judge Caprio, I'm watching this young sister destroy an opportunity that was handed to her on a silver platter. I'm a grandmother. I raised 4 children alone. I worked 3 jobs at times, and I never blamed the system for my choices. I owned them. She looks directly at Tamika. Baby, you just threw away help because you couldn't humble yourself for 5 minutes. That judge was trying to bless you and you spit in his face. That's on you, not him. Several people in the gallery nod in agreement. Tamika looks devastated. Ma'am, thank you for that. You said it better than I could, Judge Caprio responds, then turns back to Tamika. Ms. Williams, that woman understands something you don't seem to grasp. Help is available, but only for people who show they deserve it. You came in here defensive and hostile. You refused to take responsibility. You blamed everyone else, and you destroyed your own chance at mercy. I understand now, Your Honor. Please give me another chance, Tamika begs. I gave you multiple chances, Ms. Williams. Every time I asked a question, that was a chance to show accountability. Every time you responded with an excuse, you wasted that chance. You don't get unlimited opportunities to get it right. But my kids, don't use your children as leverage, Ms. Williams. If you cared about the impact on your children, you would have behaved differently. You would have taken responsibility, accepted help graciously, and moved forward. Instead, you chose pride and blame. Tamika is crying now, fully understanding what she's lost. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I really am. I messed up. Yes, you did. And now you're going to pay $375 over 15 months. If you miss a single payment, the full remaining balance becomes due immediately. Do you understand? Yes, Your Honor. Additionally, if you receive one more parking ticket of any kind within the next year, I'm adding a $50 penalty on top of whatever that ticket costs. One more violation, any violation, and it costs you extra. Are we clear? Yes, Your Honor. Judge Caprio's final words are harsh but truthful. Ms. Williams, you came here with a problem that I could have solved in 60 seconds. Tickets dismissed. Good luck with your children. Drive safely. Instead, you're leaving with full penalties, payment restrictions, and additional consequences. I hope you learn from this. Yes, Your Honor, I will. I hope so, because the next judge might not be as patient as I was. Dismissed. As Tamika walks out crying, Judge Caprio addresses the courtroom. Ladies and gentlemen, you just watched someone snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. I was ready to help her. She destroyed that opportunity, with attitude and refusal to take responsibility. Let that be a lesson to everyone watching. Mercy is a gift, not a right, and it's only extended to those who show they deserve it through humility and accountability. Tamika Williams walked into that courtroom, facing $375 in fines that were about to be dismissed. She left, owing the full amount, plus restrictions, because she couldn't control her attitude for 15 minutes. Judge Frank Caprio proved once again that mercy has limits, and that sometimes the harshest teacher is the consequence you bring upon yourself. This is what happens when pride defeats wisdom, blame defeats accountability, attitude destroys opportunity. The lesson: when someone extends mercy, accept it with humility. When you're wrong, own it. When help is offered, receive it graciously. Because the difference between walking free and paying the full price often comes down to nothing more than your attitude in the moment that matters most.